Hello, and welcome to the Other Six podcast, where we talk about life, scripture, and what it looks like to follow Jesus, not just on Sundays, but on the other 6 days of the week.
Well, welcome to the Other Six podcast with North Liberty Christian Church. Today, I have with me
Patrick Andrews, Communications.
Aaron Lax, Associate Lead Pastor.
And we're going to talk about what it looks like to live a life of Christ on the other 6 days of the week outside of Sunday. And today, we are talking all about serving. And that is a loaded topic. We've got it narrowed down to kind of three main things that we're going to talk about today. You guys ready to dive in?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I just want to say this is like a dream come true for me. I made it onto the Other Six podcast before Liver King got to go fight Joe Rogan on his podcast. So prayers out to Liver King right now. I know he's going through it.
Liver King.
Right?
Do you guys know about Liver King?
Well, I'll add him in my prayer list.
Should look it up.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what?
It's wild.
We're right up there with Joe Rogan podcast too. So.
Right there. Yeah.
Yeah, we're coming for you, Joe.
Look out.
Side note, we're not. Don't send the FBI after me, please.
On that note, speaking of that, why serve? Why serve? We'll jump right into this. So why serve, period? Why serve others? Why serve organizations? The list goes on and on. We'll talk about some very tangible, real-world aspects of serving. We'll talk about what Christ says in the Word about serving, and then what it looks like to serve within our own context here at North Liberty Christian Church. So just to start things out, and it's not anything that you all probably don't know, but there are so many good causes in our world that need volunteers, that need people to step outside of their comfort zone.
Yeah, well, you think, especially in the context of a church podcast or a Christian podcast, you hear the word serve and you immediately go to like, oh, well, how can I hold the door open for people on Sunday morning, or fill the communion cups, or do that kind of stuff? But serve is such a broad topic, and in our world, like just volunteering with different organizations as well is a huge undertaking. Mm-hmm. If I was looking at it the other night, the volunteering role is like an industry worth like $190 billion or something like that. Wow. Yeah. Of the work that they do. And without volunteers that step into these opportunities, like we don't have rural fire departments, EMS. We don't have coaches for Little League, sports events. Mm-hmm. Food banks go unmanned. Yeah. Disaster relief, like all sorts of things. So I guess here at the beginning, we're kind of talking like broad scope of things. Like without volunteers, like the world doesn't operate.
Yep.
Yeah, well, and specifically here in America, I think the understanding of service might be a problem. It's just a thought I was having the other day. I think in our culture, we've gotten really good at building tall fences, and our dining room tables and rooms are really small.
Sure.
Yeah. And I think
housing is expensive, Aaron.
Yeah, it sure is. When you think about it, like serving is it's sacrificing my time, my resources, my energy for the benefit of others. And man, if I haven't met so many people, and I'm guilty of this too, where it's like just the American dream is just to get away from it all, to have my own place, to see no one and do nothing except for myself, And I think that speaks to maybe a heart issue we might have here in America. I think we've gotten too comfortable and maybe too, if I can say it, self-centered. We're so focused on ourselves that we forget how important it is to serve, because we need people. I need people. I'm the benefactor of so many people's generosity and service in my life, So
Certainly.
Definitely.
In a previous life, I was a branch manager for a local credit union, and part of my role was community development. So making sure our name and face, I was the face, unfortunately, in our market, was out in the community. So I served on the Rotary Club, our local Rotary Club there. And I was, even though I have a lot of gray now in my hair, I was the youngest one within my Rotary Club. And their motto which I think is good and biblical at its core, is service above self. So in everything that we did, literally everything that we did, it was coming up with ways to serve the communities in which we lived. And I really appreciated that time and the wisdom that I was able to gain from our those who are very seasoned in life. And I really came to appreciate that.
Yeah.
We'll call them our senior saints.
Yeah,
I love our
Senior
senior saints.
Yep, certainly. Now, one of the other selfish reasons for serving, and studies have been done on this. I didn't get a chance to do the data homework on it like you, Patrick, but if I go through seasons, especially after football season, like Christmas has happened and we're into the doldrums of winter here in northern Indiana, and sometimes things get hard, like just it's dark, it's gray, you don't see sunshine for 3 months, and it's easy to get down on yourself. And one of the best ways to help pull yourself out of that space is to serve others. And that's why we make it a point at NLCC to make sure there's opportunities to serve others. And with the, is it cortisol? Not cortisol, not cortisone.
Cortisol is stress.
Yeah.
And I don't want it.
I
don't want it. I got too much cortisol.
got enough right now. But whatever
Like
it is.
the dopamine.
Dopamine.
there you go.
Sir.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
on the wrong letter there. The dopamine rush that you get
The
from
dopamine
serving
comes in
others.
and takes over the cortisol.
Yeah. And it
you
helps pull you out of depression or times when you're down on yourself.
Which that kind of sounds like backwards, almost like in a situation where you are down in the dumps and you just feel like you need to be served.
Yeah.
But it's actually the opposite. Not always the opposite, but like you'd be surprised at just how much going and helping somebody else can really pull you out of that.
And there's a healthy balance there. Sometimes you need to serve yourself by resting, so that you can serve others better. And we try to make that a rhythm here at NLCC as well.
Yeah, actually, it's funny you mentioned that. I was just thinking about this. One of the tensions in the early church was they were serving too much. So there's this discussion about in the early church they're helping out. They have this they're known. The early church is known by their generosity and serving the orphans and the widows, and it's become like people know them by that, and they're almost like super dependent on it, where it becomes a problem. They're like, wait, we can't neglect the gathering. So not and that's not a statement against them serving, but what I think that acknowledges is that there was this tension that they were feeling, that people were feeling the blessing of giving to others, that they were feeling the blessing of serving, so much so that it was creating a little bit of problems in the church. Good problems. But serving Christians from the beginning of the church, we have been known by our acts of service and generosity and kindness, and that's how we should be known today.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, what that's a great segue into what does the Bible actually say about serving, and what kind of scripture can we pull? And there's not any shortage of seeing that, but do you have any pulled up?
I certainly do. There's 1,100 references in Scripture about serving, and service. Okay. The New Testament speaks to it as far as the church goes and being a Christian very specifically. So Philippians 2:3-4 says, "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves, not looking to your own interest, but each of you to the interests of others." And that's one of my favorite ones. Also, another one that's super popular that many know comes from Matthew. In fact, a few of the New Testament writers reference this when Christ said, "Instead, whoever wants to become great among you, you must be your servant, and whoever wants to be first must be your slave. Just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many." Matthew 20:26-28.
Yeah, I think that one, ideally, as Christians, our goal should be to mirror and shine the light of Christ.
Yeah.
And for the Bible to go out and say 1,100 times about different ways of serve or servant in that way. Ultimately, that last one that you read off is like so pivotal, because we can see that even our God, not like who doesn't need to serve us in any way if he didn't want to, served in such a way that was such a sacrifice, more than anything we can even do.
Yep, certainly.
And so if we are trying to imitate that, we have a prime example to look to.
Exactly. Yeah. I remember a session at Michiana Christian Camp when I was in high school, and there was 100 of us, and we sat in a circle, and the leaders brought out basins of water. And you think summer camp, it's 95 degrees, been playing capture the flag for the afternoon.
In your flip-flops.
In our definitely. And we called them flip-flops back then, not slides, kids. So
they're not flip-flops anymore?
No,
I missed this.
They're slides. Yeah, I get made fun of when I say flip-flops at home. My 14-year-old corrects me.
Your 14-year-old makes fun of you?
Yep. I'm an easy target. But and 100 of us, we washed each other's feet, just as Jesus did to his disciples. And it was such a powerful moment that has stuck with me to this day. Galatians 6:2, carry one another's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ. We can't do this on our own. Others can't do it on their own, and we need to step up to serve one another.
I remember being challenged by one of my favorite preachers of all time, which unfortunately his life ended in controversy, Ravi Zacharias. His sermons are still powerful, and that's another podcast for another day.
Yeah.
But one of the things that he said in a message one time that really just kind of like stopped me cold in my tracks and made me reevaluate the way I approached things like serving. He looked out at the people he was talking to. It was at a conference, and he says, "When was the last time your Christianity cost you?" Like serving is costly.
Yeah.
And yes, you feel good afterwards. Don't mishear me, but it is costly at its core. There's a cost associated with service. So whether you're volunteering at NLCC or volunteering like it's going to cost you time. It's going to cost you. And I'm saying this as somebody who served in the military. Like I gave up years I spent years away from my family for the service of others. Now I walked away from that experience saying, overall, that was a good experience. Yeah. But there was some points, I'm just going to say it sucked. There was a couple times it sucked. Yeah. But that's the essence of serving. It's costly. And I think of two verses I pulled up. Everybody knows this one. Greater love has no one than this, that someone would lay his life down for his friends, John 15:13. But then this is how Christ demonstrates his love for us in this, from Romans 5:8. God shows his love for us in that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. You know, Christ died for us. He gave up his life.
Cost.
He served by giving up his life. And so for those that may be watching, if you're wondering how you can serve or maybe you're hesitant on serving, it is. You are not wrong to maybe hesitate, because there is a cost associated with serving. It's going to cost you something. Yeah. And I have great respect for men and women that are our first responders, our military men and women that are putting their lives on at risk every single day for us to be able to come in here and record this podcast.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure.
Yeah, we just came out of the 4th of July, and it's right. Just came out of the 4th of July, and I mean, for you and all our friends who have served in the armed forces and those that serve as first responders, thank you guys, because we have, like I said, to sit here under some lights and record a podcast talking about serving. Yeah, not every space in the world can do that.
Yeah, definitely.
My last scripture I have here, Galatians 5:13. You, my brothers and sisters, were called to be free, but do not use your freedom to indulge the flesh. Rather, serve one another humbly in love.
Yeah, I actually put that one as well. And I think that is really where you can tangibly take this idea of serving and fit it to the theme of this podcast, and to not just serve, when your Rotary Club meets or when Sunday service is happening and you can hold a door for somebody or do your service role in the church, but to live a life of love in your everyday life the other 6 days of the week to, and you just preached on this about worship. It's not just on, on a Sunday. Your life can be a representation of that worship.
Service is worship.
And service is just that same thing.
Yep.
Your whole life can be a representation of service and reflect Jesus in your life.
I'm reminded of my neighbor across the street. His name's Paul. Don't know if he watches this or not, but
Hey, Paul.
Hey, Paul.
he serves as a volunteer on the Liberty Township Fire Department.
Oh, okay.
And I can't tell you how many times I'm outside, whether I'm mowing or playing, hitting practice golf balls with my son out in the yard, and I see his car and his lights fire up, and he takes off and goes to get the truck and drops what he's doing. I mean, how powerful is that?
Yeah.
Well, how then can we serve? How can we serve in a way that honors Christ and builds others up? Specific to our context here at NLCC, we have 22 teams that make this place go. 22 volunteer ran and led teams that if it wasn't for them, NLCC wouldn't be here.
For sure.
We have things such as our people who volunteer in children's ministry, student ministry, our facilities people who keep the place up and running. There's people right now flipping breakers and replacing outlets. Hopefully they don't flip these right now. But I mean, the list goes on and on. We have people who, if something comes up in life, whether they have a child or there's a death in the family, they step up and organize a meal train for those families, so they can be blessed and served in that way. As far as serving within the church, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the church wouldn't operate without our volunteer base, and I specifically do think of our children's ministry, and I think
God
of our
bless them.
Yeah,
God
for
bless
sure,
them.
yes, because that's totally not my realm at all. So I look at that and I see the future of the church when these 4 and 5 year olds are running around and the chaos that it brings. We just came out of VBS too, and holy cow, the movement of Christ in these kids. Like, if we didn't have volunteers that did that role, that's the future of the church. There wouldn't be that future of the church here.
Yep, certainly.
Yeah, and I would say serving in the church, it's going to cost you a little bit of time. Gosh, some of the best relationships I've formed have inside of a church have either been through a community group, but honestly, it's been through serving. Serving on my worship team, serving with our students. Like, I remember being asked to help out with our middle school summer camp at my last church last year, and I hadn't met those kids before. I hadn't met some of the volunteers before because we're in a fairly large church, and we didn't really, our paths wouldn't really cross on a Sunday morning. And then when I would see them on Sunday morning, it'd be like, hey, what's up, Sam? How's it going, brother? It was like a bond that was being formed. And again, you're going to hear me say this a lot while I'm here. I'm going to make a lot of comparisons to my experience in the military, so just get over it. But
Sir, yes, sir.
Attaboy. But like some of the best friends I have still today were friends that I made while serving in the military, and part of the reason isn't just because like they were good guys and gals, but it was because we served together when things were hard. Now, not to say like don't mishear me either. Sunday mornings are great and they're enjoyable, but sometimes it's going to be hard.
Sure.
And what an opportunity for us to step into as the church and just say, you know what, I'm willing to do hard things. We can do hard things, and I'm willing to do it with you if you want to do it with me. Can we be friends, Patrick?
Yes, ultimately friends. Ultimately, yes.
Yeah. So
Chris, you can be friends too.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thanks, Patrick.
If you serve.
Okay. I'll do that. One of the things we do try our best to focus on within our teams that are serving together is to make sure nobody's serving alone. There's some roles like mowing the grass. I don't need somebody in my lap when I'm mowing the grass. I can do that by myself, and I'm happy to do so. But just making sure when we're serving, we are serving together, at least with somebody else, to build that community and that opportunity to serve. How do you join a team here at NLCC? If you go to the Next Steps page or on either at northliberty.cc or the Church Center app, you'll see a link to our teams, and all of our teams are listed there. And you can just click on one that piques your interest and request to be a part of that, and the team leader is going to reach out to you to get you plugged in. A lot of our teams just offer an opportunity as well just to come and observe and hang out and just see how things operate.
Remove
how
that
things
barrier
go.
of entry where it's like, oh, maybe I can't do this.
Yeah.
But
There's
just come
no
and check it out.
expectation with that. Just come and see. And if it's
I'm pulling it up right now too. I'm
You got
looking.
it.
Oh, join a ministry team.
Look at that.
I'm
Just as
new.
easy as
I'm
that.
new, so I'm still like
better
trying
get
to.
on it.
I'm trying to figure this out.
you don't have
Yeah.
anything else to do.
Wow, building and grounds team, children's ministry, coffee crew.
Oh, yeah,
my
the coffee crew.
please.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lord.
By the way, this is the first church I've ever been a part of that does iced coffee.
Oh,
Thank you.
really? Oh,
That's
great.
Thank you,
Yeah.
especially in the summertime.
Oh,
I like
gotta
the
have
coffees
it.
too.
Oh, yeah.
That ministry, by the way, like, can we talk about the ministry of caffeine real quick? Like,
Let's do it.
we need volunteers on that team.
Yes,
Yep.
we do.
Yeah.
We're heading into some pretty exciting times here at our church, and I just say there's a couple teams that are going to feel the strain more than others, and the one I think of most is the children's ministry.
For sure.
So I want to say a couple things. One, our kids ministry. You guys have heard this before. You know this. Our kids ministry is not a babysitting service.
Right.
Not at all.
It's not. It like supernatural, powerful things are happening inside of those kids' lives each and every single time they step foot in those classrooms. Secondly, it's not these aren't like expert level. Like you don't have to be. You have to have a background clearance, and then you have to love kids. If you can do those two things, you can serve in our kids ministry.
Yeah.
And then just because I've had experience with the worship side of the thing, our worship team needs help. We need more talented musicians and vocalists. But actually, our production team, they're the hidden heroes.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Yep.
they don't get all nobody even knows they're up there because we have them kind of like in the roof or whatever.
It is up off the ground, but that's to speak to the excellence that they bring every Sunday. If you don't know they're there, everything went just peachy keen.
That's right.
And I'm really appreciative of the 40 people that serve on that team, and that again, with the future that's coming, we anticipate needs growing.
And if there's anyone that can't fall asleep in the middle of a sermon,
Man.
it's those guys.
Gotta stay on
exactly.
Those
Yeah.
guys.
Gotta
And
stay on
I
top
make
of it.
sure I'm going to remember everybody's name because if they do fall asleep, I'm going to call them out in the middle of my message. Next slide. Next slide.
Well, thank you guys, Patrick and Aaron, for speaking into serving. It was a great discussion today. August is going to be a discussion on taking care of the temple that Christ has given us, taking care of our bodies. Aaron's going to be leading that, and we have that to look forward to. So again, thanks for joining us on the Other Six podcast. Have a great week.